What's up guys, I'm Dylan Hughes, Formula Drift driver. Let me show you the cleaning power of this dual action heavy duty car wash. So the dual action of Rain-X heavy duty car wash concentrate and spot cleaner releases the toughest caked on dirt without heavy scrubbing. An extra benefit is applying directly to a tough spot like bird droppings, sap, or dead bugs. Let it sit to release the dirt, then simply wipe off with a rag before you wash the whole car. Rain-X heavy duty car wash.
Find it at your local Advanced Auto Parts store today.
I'm the driver of the 2016 Comp Cams Cadillac ATS-V. What I've got here in my hand is a new NSR Drift Spec Cam. This is something Comp and I developed specifically for our racing program for our Cadillac here. It's something that if your motto is LS the world, this cam is for you.
Unleash the power of your engine with world-leading Link ECU from Link Engine Management. Proud sponsors of the Formula Drift Pro 2 Championship. Used by some of the biggest names in Formula Drift and renowned globally for their power, performance, and reliability. All Link ECUs are backed by a limited lifetime warranty. Link Engine Management also stocks a wide range of sensors, accessories, and software to help you get the most out of your Link ECU. To find out more about our products, visit the Link ECU team at the track today or go online to linkecu.com.
Honestly, I think the Achilles 123S is the best tire for drifting. It's just so consistent. There's so much grip.
I love being on Achilles. It is incredible. The tire is incredible.
It's the best tire that I've ever used. Tons of grip. It's just so consistent, precise, very predictable.
Having a tire that's consistent all the way through from when it's cold to when it's roasting hot is very important.
I really wouldn't want to be on any other tire.
I'm Dylan Hughes, Formula Drift Pro 1 driver, and this is one of my favorite products. This is the Rain-X 2-in-1 exterior detailer plus water repellent. Whether I'm at the track giving the car a quick wipe down, or if I'm at the shop cleaning off one of my cars between washes, this is my go-to. Rain-X exterior detailer and water repellent is a convenient spray-on, wipe-off detailer designed to provide you with a clean, shiny finish and a protective water repellent coating. Rain-X 2-in-1 exterior detailer and water repellent.
Find it at your local Advanced Auto Parts store today.
Rockin' the blackout.
No filming. No No filming. Put your camera down.
Human horsepower, Muss energy drink, high performance energy.
Every superhero has an origin story. We all got our start somewhere. For us, it was the U.S. Air Force.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time.
It's okay.
Thank you.
Oh. Think ahead. Think advance.
Unleash the power of your engine with world-leading Link ECU from Link Engine Management. Proud sponsors of the Formula Drift Pro 2 Championship. Used by some of the biggest names in Formula Drift and renowned globally for their power, performance, and reliability. All Link ECUs are backed by a limited lifetime warranty. Link Engine Management also stocks a wide range of sensors, accessories, and software to help you get the most out of your Link ECU. To find out more about our products, visit the Link ECU team at the track today or go online to linkecu.com.
Are you afraid to use red thread locker but need something a little stronger in blue?
Not anymore. I'm all about that orange, Chris. Permatex Orange Thread Locker. Holds like red but removes with hand tools and is 3 times stronger than blue.
The hybrid formula is ideal for high vibration and it will not loosen or back out over time. High strength and removable.
New orange thread locker from Permatex. Find it at your local retailer today. I'm Ryan Turk.
And I'm Chris Forsberg, and we're excited to tell you about the all-new line of products from Black Magic.
Intense wheel and tire cleaner aerosol for those of you who want one product that does it all.
And a new aerosol version of your favorite bleach white tire cleaner. Look how fast it dissolves that brown haze.
Keep your tires looking good with tire protectant with UV guard that helps prevent brown haze buildup and keeps your tires looking brand new.
So get out to your favorite store
and pick them up today.
Honestly, I think the Achilles 123S is the best tire for drifting. It's just so consistent. There's so much grip.
I love being on Achilles. It is incredible. The tire is incredible.
It's the best tire that I've ever used. Tons of grip. It's just so consistent, precise, very predictable.
Having a tire that's consistent all the way through from when it's cold to when it's roasting hot is very important.
I really wouldn't want to be on any other tire.
Unleash the power of your engine with world-leading Link ECU from Link Engine Management, proud sponsors of the Formula Drift Pro 2 Championship, used by some of the biggest names in Formula Drift and renowned globally for their power, performance, and reliability. All Link ECUs are backed by a limited lifetime warranty. Link Engine Management also stocks a wide range of sensors, accessories, and software to help you get the most out of your Link ECU. To find out more about our products, visit the Link ECU team at the track today or go online to linkecu.com.
What's up, guys? I'm Dylan Hughes, Formula Drift driver. Let me show you the cleaning power of this dual-action heavy-duty car wash. So the dual action of Rain-X heavy-duty car wash concentrate and spot cleaner releases the toughest caked-on dirt without heavy scrubbing. An extra benefit is applying directly to a tough spot, like bird droppings, sap, or dead bugs. Let it sit to release the dirt, then simply wipe off with a rag before you wash the whole car. Rain-X heavy-duty car wash.
Find it at your local Advanced Auto Parts store today.
All right, how we doing out there, everybody? Thank you, and welcome to Texas Motor Speedway, playing host to round 4, the final round of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. This is the Advanced Auto Parts Showdown, presented by Rain-X, the Lone Star State, playing host to not only the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship final round, but also round 7 of the Black Magic Formula Drift Pro Championship. I'm Jared Deenda. Joining me once again is Ryan Sage. Ryan, what's up, man? How we doing?
Well, it is a very exciting time here for sure. I mean, if you take a look at the championship race after that win by Alec Robbins in St. Louis, you are looking at very tight championship race. Trenton Beecham out front, 5 points behind Roman Charpentier, Garrett Denton, Josh Robinson, all in the hunt this weekend along with Alec Robbins.
Daniel Stuck, our first driver here in this M-Spec vehicle, a great looking vehicle. Now the course has changed dramatically from years past. All outside zone, and look at that, another outside. He straightens up quite a bit there coming through that power alley. That is a front clip. Now he's going to transition into that final outer zone. Doesn't get all the way out there. Again, we'll talk to the judge and see exactly what they're looking for, just to elaborate again on what they want. But so 2 front clips, but a lot of outer zone. So it's going to make for a very fast course. Now keep in mind, again, we saw a very exciting qualifying in Orlando, but when it came to head-to-head, had a bit of struggle here, Ryan.
Well, as we take a look at the track, you can see from this vantage point here, that's the start of outside zone 1. You can see the painting there where the judges are asking the drivers to be. That's different than last year. There's the second outside zone, and there's the big straightening. And now coming through the center section here, you'll see the traditional layout that we've had here at this course, finishing up with this final outside zone. And then, of course, the inside clip, which is also the finish line, and we tend to see a lot of action there, especially in the head-to-head competition as we move on. So it'll be an incomplete for Daniel Stuck, and we will move on to our next driver.
So Daniel Stuck with that big correction there in the M-Spec Performance Achilles Radial S14 from Prior Lake, Minnesota. Again, that will be a 0 for that young man. Next up across the lane, that will be Amanda Sorenson, coming to us from Las Vegas. She's in the drift line, Sorenson Motorsports Achilles Radial BMW E46. Amanda Sorenson on the line, ready to put it down. Her accolades from the dirt of Las Vegas and the open road to now she's been cutting her teeth quite a bit drifting. Brother Brandon Sorenson also competing as Amanda throws it in here in the outside zone, looking very comfortable. See minimal corrections, just dialing it into that outside zone. Now transitioning through the power alley. Again, you saw Stuck have a hang up there. Doesn't get all the way to that front clip. You can see how this track really is fluid, but you're really going to need to push yourself and massage the car to those outside zones. Otherwise, you're going to be middle of the road.
Well, Jared, again, this will give us a good opportunity. There's the 3-2-1 cones in the background there. There's the beginning of outside zone 1. You can see she's a little bit on the inside, so she got into the zone towards the end. And the reason why the judges have it set up this way is because we saw so much action where we had an inside clip after the initiation point last year. They felt this freed up the course, had some of the drivers tested out on Wednesday, and got this confirmation that the outside zone would be a better, more flowing course for these guys. And, of course, hopefully produce better head-to-head action. So as we see Courtney here finishing things up, we'll see where her score comes in here at run number 1.
So Brandon Sorenson and her dad looking on there, and Brandon Sorenson, her brother, he is currently sitting 6th in points. As far as Amanda right now, that Driftline Sorenson Motorsports vehicle, we take a look at it again.
Yeah, here it is. You can see Amanda. She gets into the zone a bit late. She's trying to stretch it out there. Here's the second outside zone now crossing back over. You see a little bit less angle there. She makes a better job there towards that last section, but does take out that last standing cone. And that's going to be okay because it's right at the edge of the course, so they're just looking at the tires there. It looks like this will be a scored run overall, as long as there's nothing that we missed there. As we take a look, Jared, on the other side of the course, you see the 3-2-1 cones. Drivers must be initiated by that last standing cone in order to receive a scored run in qualifying.
I feel like, with the adaptation of the track in St. Louis, it was one of the fastest tracks in Formula Drift competition. We didn't see Pro 2 competition out there, but then it got really dialed. And then, we did. The track was really fast last year. This year, it got really kind of whittled down to a very technical course and what seemed to be fairly easy, but with nobody having setup. So now I feel like Texas, this is going to be a very fast course.
It is already very fast, and I think we've even made it a little bit more dynamic here. This is where the Pro 2 Championship will come to a conclusion. So this round of qualifying is extremely important for the drivers that are currently in competition, not only for the drivers in the championship runnings, but we have drivers like Rome Charpentier and Brandon Sorenson who are rookies, along with AJ Muss, that are looking to capture that Rookie of the Year. Now those drivers are separated by just about 40 points each. You got Muss 84 points back from the lead, Sorenson 41 points back, so just a few points separating those guys for Rookie of the Year, but Rome out front right now in the lead.
Nate Snyder, SV Performance Achilles Radial S14 240 SX. Here we go. So Snyder really getting out there, hammering down. Look at the squat on that thing, not lifting at all. A quick correction. Oh boy, and this could be trouble for him. You see him, I talked about the throttle hammered down. It looks like and sounded like he threw a brick on the gas pedal, but looks like he backs off and he straightens out quite a bit, Ryan. This could very well be an incomplete like we saw with Daniel Stu.
Well, you can see here a lot of drivers getting into this zone a bit late. Now he's going to swing wide here, which is going to set him up a little bit incorrectly for this middle section of the course, and you can see he's going to be straightening up right here, just gets past that inside clip, but then shuts the vehicle down and then has to reinitiate. I think under many circumstances that we've seen this year, that would qualify as an incomplete, but we'll see how the judges are feeling here and whether or not they actually go with that, and they do.
All right, so they do have a score, so that will be a 30. So Ryan Lontaine, it is a what's that? It's an incomplete. That was incorrect. Ryan, that the screen said a 30.
Yeah, I think one judge looked like he logged a score, but it is an incomplete.
Okay, so Nate Snyder does have an incomplete run. That is a 0. That is an incomplete run for Nate Snyder. Alex Schlegel, Drift HQ vehicle coming down. This Bimini top on the S chassis all the way out there. Let's see if he maintains. You see a quick little rub all the way out to that second outer zone. Well played by Schlegel. I guess that could be considered the third outer zone. And Schlegel showing up in a massive way here. So good job for Schlegel. Let's take a look at it again here, Ryan.
Yeah, look at the initiation. Nice and early there. He's on the mid-line. He's trying to push out wide. He starts to fill this zone towards the end. And see, he didn't push all the way out there. He still kind of stays right on the correct line. Gets that tire right at the edge of outside zone 2. Much better job there than we've seen so far in outside zone 3. Wraps around that inside clip. You can see a little bit of movement in the front wheels there as he struggles just a little bit. But overall, will get himself a complete run here. Let's take a look. Coming through this center section, see, he dips right out to the edge of the course, then he leaves that outside zone just a little bit early. That puts him tight on that inside clip, but he does a good job making some adjustments to keep himself away from an incomplete, and he will get a score on run number 1.
All right, let's see what Schlegel's got. And there it is, a 64 there for Schlegel. Nice job for him. Again, you can see 15, 22, 27 there for Schlegel. Teaming up with the Arizona driver as well, Mr. Schulte. And this should be, and it is, Kelsey Rawlings. Voodoo Ride Achilles tire S14 from Florida. Let's see how Kelsey throws down. The Ford-powered S14. Kelsey Rawlings. Look at that, minimal corrections, if at all. Eyes on the prize, transitions. Maintains the angle, a little lack of it, but really powering through. Looks like this course is really favoring Rawlings style. A lot of lift there and tries to bring it back, and she does keep it across the line. We'll see if that stands, Ryan.
Well, looking good up until that last section there, and unfortunately it's a big mistake. Obviously you have to think about this from the judge's perspective. Was that a chaseable lead run? She was a little bit wide in outside zone 1, but does fill a good chunk of it there. Good throttle control through that second outside zone, now coming across. Keeps the front portion of the car looking pretty solid and solidified. Nice transition there, fills that zone really well, and then starts to come unglued here towards the end. And instead of letting it flow out wide, she tries to reach to get that inside clip, and it causes her line to be very wonky here. If maybe she would have just let it float out, she would have taken some line points off the table, but in a head-to-head competition, I could see that being an unchaseable lead.
So Kelsey Rawlings waits for the verdict here. Is that a judgeable run? I'm seeing a lot of cringing here because the flow of it, as you say, Ryan, just dives in. Ryan, I mean, mind you, the Pro 2 field this year, how do you feel about the Pro 2 field?
I feel really good. I think it's a very mature field. I think we've seen some incredible driving.
The builds are gnarly.
The builds are awesome. A lot of these guys, we have to remember that these guys are running on a tire limit in Pro 2. And we are confirming, Jared, with the judges that it will be an unchaseable lead, and it was because of that final section. And as we were saying, you know, if perhaps she would have just pushed out wide and taken the bad line points in that area, may have received a scored run, but now she's going to have double the pressure going into run number 2. But just to get back to the field, I think it's a very, very strong Pro 2 field. I thought St. Louis was a really good course for those guys, and saw some really amazing qualifying runs up and into the 90s, so I really like this 2019 field.
St. Louis feels like it was yesterday, but it also feels like it was a year ago. It's pretty crazy how time flies, but then how it's so quick. Here we go. So next up, we have that Karolina, who's making a lot of noise. We saw her on that Hyperdrive show on Netflix, coming to us from Poland. And Karolina makes some corrections to wrap it around that front clip. Karolina, oh, you see a large correction, getting into the dirt, knocks over that cone as Karolina, the Sylvette as they call it, with that with the Sylvette moniker. Let's take a look at it again here, Ryan.
Well, she gets a little bit of a late initiation there, right just at that last standing cone. Bit on the inside here, but it's really going to come down to this section of the course, Jared. As she leads outside zone 2, head to outside zone 3, the front end starts to wash out a little bit. She misses outside zone completely. And then right here, watch the front wheels. They're going to move to that centered position, and she's going to have to reinitiate, and then goes a bit off course there. Now, the off-course part I don't think would constitute an incomplete, but the wheels coming to that neutral position for an extended period of time, and yes, it does. The judges do give her an incomplete on run number 1.
So as we talked about, you know, the field of vehicles, and you feel comfortable about it, the speed, just this course could really be a widowmaker in the championship, and we saw that here last year. Remember, we saw Kevin Lawrence just come up from the ashes like Phoenix and just come down and grab that championship.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great way to finish off the year. It's a very challenging course overall. It's one of the more unique ones that we have, especially being in this big giant stadium here at Texas Motor Speedway. But you know, the Pro 2 field never disappoints in terms of the excitement levels that we tend to see, not only in the really, really good, but also in the craziness sometimes.
What was that? It seemed like the longest event, was that like 3-4 years ago? I can't recall. It just was like the longest Formula Drift event ever.
Yeah.
Everything that could happen, happened.
For the Pro Class 2 last year as well.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Here we go, Derrick Madison. Madison, a very fun driver to watch. Let's see if he's got the speed. Great angle. Let's see if he can pick it up here. Good looking car. A lot of these drivers coming out of that big sweeper. Now powering into that front clip. Looks a lot more comfortable here in the latter portion of the track. And just as I say that, makes a correction into that last outer zone. This speed, this setup, this is just something that a lot of these drivers have never seen. So coming into this round, they don't know the setup. Neither do the pro drivers, but adaptability.
Well, he gets a decent initiation there. It's kind of a slow roll, rolled into it. Stays pretty good in that outside zone. He's trying to find the right line here, not driving with a ton of angle. Now coming through this center section, he gets to the edge of the outside zone 3, hits an inside clip, and then right here, watch the front wheels. He's really trying to muscle it around here, and then right there, he almost understeers, but is able to get through the finish line. So Whether or not it's scored, it'll certainly be a run that he's going to want to improve on for run number 2. And there it is. You can see that bit of that flub there on the inside of, or right before the final inside clip.
All right, so Derrick Madison waits for his score. And we take a look at that run once again. Pads, we'll get that dialed.
One more time.
They're going one more time in qualifying, Ryan? That was a joke. Jason didn't like that joke, our audio guy. Jason, 2 over here. Oh, you moved on to Chips Ahoy. All right, 63 for D-Mad. He ain't mad. He ain't mad at that score. All right, so Derrick Madison backs it in here in the pits. Matt Haugen getting a little bit of an iced opportunity here. Not opportunity, but it's a scenario. All right, Matt Haugen coming in. That R34 Haugen Racing vehicle. Let's see if he can bring it into that outer zone. On the second one, he does. Through the power alley, a big correction there by Haugen. Whip it in there, homeboy. Brings it into that outer zone, straightens out. Ryan, a lot of these drivers having a lot of difficulty with this course, and man.
Yeah, I mean, Haugen was had some really impressive practice runs in St. Louis, and unfortunately was able to put it together here. Starts off there with a really late initiation. He's way on the inside of outside zone 1. You can see the front wheels moving around quite a bit. He's going to come in the center section and miss outside zone 2. Gets to that inside clip. You can see he's really struggling with the car a little bit. This section of the course a bit tight, and he has to almost reinitiate there towards the end. So tough break there for Haugen on run number 1, and we'll see how the judges take those mistakes into account.
Man, Ryan, we have seen 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we are seeing 5 incomplete runs from our drivers. 37 drivers showing up. That's if all of them that are here on the driver's list are able to run or in the building, and only 16 are moving on to tomorrow's final event of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. So Tyler Grimsley is up next. Tyler Grimsley from Port Angeles, Washington. Oh, so no, sorry. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm looking at it, and that is Tim Cobb. So no Grimsley, no Doom. And the field suspension Nexit tire vehicle from Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah! On field suspension, you know he has Odi Bakshi's in his back pocket to let him know his setup does have that wide swing around that final front clipping point, but does bring it across the line. And that is a better approach as opposed to, unfortunately, Kelsey taking that tighter line. So Tim Cobb here. Let's take a look, Ryan.
Well, here's the initiation, and then right into that first outside zone, right at the edge there. Sans that front bumper, as you said, Jared. Pretty good job on outside zone 2. Nice little flick across. He's going to be on the inside, though, but making it through the course with good fluidity. Like that transition there. Fills that outside zone. Good angle through the finish line, though he does miss that final inside clip. But overall, I think that is going to be a run that he can build off of, Jared. And there was definitely some areas where you saw some pretty good driving there, especially that transition from inside clip 1 to outside zone 3. Or excuse me, outside zone 4.
Yeah, figure 1 is the big sweeper, right? Let's call it out here. 1 is the big sweeper. 2 is just as you exit the sweeper. 3 is in the power alley. Front clip. 4 in the wall that has claimed some vehicles. With it only being one wall here at Texas Motor Speedway, Von Gittin Jr., Mad Mike years ago, that's very intimidating when you're whipping through that power alley. And look at this, and it looks like a 79 from Tim Cobb. So you can see him, even with missing that last front clipping point, he still gains a very respectable score.
Yeah, and that's one of the benefits of having the sectors is that you can really drop a sector in all 3 categories and still come together with a pretty decent run overall there. So like I said, I think that's a great run for him to build some momentum off for run number 2.
You can see our qualifying leaderboard. Cobb currently leads the pack, Schlegel in second, Madison, Sorenson, and obviously Kelsey Rawlings. So only 4 drivers have scores, but so many tires to burn here as Dmitriy Brutskiy. So no Haugen Rahimi here. So I talked about 37. We're dropping the cars here. Dmitry in this BMW Z4. Punts that front clip out of the way, says move. Get out the way. Like ludicrous. And across the finish line. So a lot of these drivers have difficulty tightening it up on that front clip, but a very good run from Dmitriy Brutskiy. Looked like he knew what he was doing out here.
Well, he got out of the gate really quick, snaps into this initiation. He gets back on throttle pretty early. And right there in the middle of outside zone 1, he keeps it pretty smooth and consistent. Zone 2, excellent job there. Moves across the course, and that might be our best zone 2 to zone 3. Really slows up there on that inside clip, does hit it, makes a little bit of a mistake there. But as you said, Jared, overall the fluidity was there. A couple line points dropped, but from what we've seen, this is a pretty strong improvement overall. And he was able to stay in that outside zone for a pretty considerable amount of time, all things considered.
So Brutskiy, you can see him waiting. Thumbs up, high fives from his teammate there on Big Haas. 74 there as Dmitry slides into that number 2 position. Again, I mentioned Big Haas. For those watching at home, you might see it, but the world's largest TV here at Texas Motor Speedway. No big screens here. The biggest screen is here. Big Haas, Texas Motor Speedway. Andrew Schulte, come from my home hood, Arizona. It's a dry heat. Let's see if he can create a good heat. Here we go. Andrew Schulte. An outside zone, very fluid. Fills it up. Nice angle. Look at that, Ryan. The chrome wheels be spinning. Really tight to that front clip, gets to that outside zone. Schulte fills all of the deepest drivers so far. Ryan, we could have a new leader hitting all the marks, minimal corrections. He did have some, not to say it was perfect, that's a 100-point score, but I would have to say that's probably the best run we've seen so far.
Well, the initiation was between the second and third standing cone, so that shows confidence. He was a little bit on that inside of that first outside zone. Great throttle control here into the outside zone 2.
Bam.
Great angle there in outside zone 3. Right here, he's going to have a bit of a momentum shift. You can see he really drops down the momentum. But again, Jared, as you mentioned, overall, just checking the boxes and especially hitting that last inside clip. I just love the angle that he was carrying into that third outside zone. Looks like he really got a lot of good knowledge out of practice. And even with some of those minor mistakes, I still think it's arguably the best run that we've seen so far.
Yeah. Ticking the boxes is key, but I just like the style overall. Look at his fans, and sorry, not his fans, but his team. They're fans of him as well. Obviously, that's why they're here. But I love how he hit that front clip. It's just like a boop, boop, just a little tap on the nose. Look at his team is stoked over there. High fives. There's Schulte. He's pumped. Schulte was the only dude I've ever seen with 3D graphics. So he's had anime girls on the side of his vehicle, and he's made them 3D. Let's just leave it at that. 82. So he does take that number 1 spot. An 82 for Schulte as Balake Olsen, unfortunately not here. What up, Bay Olsen? Unfortunately not able to make it. But again, our new leader, Andrew Schulte. So Schulte now leads the pack. Cobb there in second. Now Brandon McDowell. Brandon McDowell whips it into that outside zone, and he goes for the gravel. Into the kitty litter, hungry for the gravel. Hungry like the wolf. That will be an incomplete for McDowell. So that will be an incomplete there for McDowell. Next, prior to McDowell was to be Adam Knapik, but he unfortunately had to call a competition timeout. Yeah, why would you call a comp timeout? I don't know if that's the right decision. Ryan? Yeah, Pat Gooden over here shaking his head. He says, nah.
Yeah, you definitely, I mean, it is a much larger pool for sure to get into 16, but having that competition timeout in
that's crucial.
The head-to-head action definitely.
Say you make it in say you make it in the top 16 tomorrow.
Then you don't have.
You don't get. Andrew Hateley, a longtime Formula Drift competitor, has been dipping his toe in here and there. Now he's about to step on some grass. Let's keep it on the pavement. Here we go. Andrew Hateley whips it into that outside zone. Always loved this car. Now he's added that very pop Art Deco graphics this year. Yeah, punts that second marker there in the outside zone. Hateley, could he make a presence here in Texas? Keeps the fluid line, does not go and just dive in on that front clip. A better approach. That is a chaseable run, Ryan. Again, missing some marks, but still very good.
We got that nice early initiation, a ton of wheel speed here. Look at the smoke coming off his vehicle. He misses that first outside zone, and so much speed coming through the center section. Watch, he's going to be off throttle, let it float, float, float. Now he's back on throttle as he leaves that outside zone. So he's leaving some points on the table for sure, but this will be a scored run. He'll have another opportunity to better the first run overall. But you can see some of those areas where there was clearly some mistakes being made, but certainly as with most of the first runs that we see, they're great building blocks for run number 2.
All right. As Hateley waits for his score, comes to a halt in his pits. Next up, Smith and the Sex, Riley Sexsmith. Andy Hateley and his team. Taking a look, the crew gets the track back and set. All right, still Andy looks very calm. His team checking out the vehicle. This is the first of the two. If you're tuning in live, that's a 64. So a 64 for Andy Hateley, and still no sign of Knapik. Don't see him in the lineup, so he might, even with that comp timeout, I don't think he's going to make it here on his first run. So all for nothing. He uses that up. That's pretty interesting. Or hopefully just call it a buy run, not a buy run, but forgoes it. Here we go. Riley Sexsmith from Canada. NV Auto, Toyota 86. Yeah. Sexsmith, very fun driver to watch. The Healy started whipping, absolutely ripping through the course in that power alley, living up to its name. And into that final zone. Lontaine, just because he's Canadian doesn't mean he gets to score him higher, okay? Just keep that in mind.
Well, here's the first pass for Sexsmith. Run number 1 gets that pretty nice initiation there, back on throttle just right before, but starting to get that smoke starting to come about just as he leaves that zone. Now he's flowing through the course now, gets out to that second outside zone, just right at the edge of it, blazing fast through that inside clip. Good transition there, not all the way into the outside zone, and does leave a few line points on the table there through that final inside clip. Really carrying a ton of speed, Jared, and right there, just a bit before that, he's driving right past us in the judges stand, and we could really hear him flying through that course. So carrying a lot of speed there, a couple mistakes that he made. He can certainly fix those, and we know how challenging outside zone 3 is especially coming off of the bank, as those drivers are trying to get to that outside zone 2 and then make it flow well to outside zone 3 before they hit that inside clip. So Sexsmith now done with his run, waiting for the score to find out where he's going to log in.
77, a 77 for the bearded giant. He's actually a small guy. I don't know why I called him a giant, but so we are finding out that Knappich could not make his competition timeout. So not only does he use his comp timeout, he's not able to make his run. So all for nothing.
Right, correct.
Bummer. Dalton Gernhart. Great looking car. Always loved the S15s. As right now that Pack International vehicle punts those zones. Looks like he's taking them home with him. These are mine now. Bye. Man, okay. I guess if this was a clip hitting comp. Oh, and look at that unfortunate Gernhart. He goes opposite drift. What happened there? I mean, if this was a clipping point hitting competition, he would have won. He nailed it.
Yeah, he murdered one too, went right in half. Yeah. You see that? Well, let's take a look and see where this starts to happen. He got a pretty good initiation. You can see he's back on throttle extremely early. And he gets out to the edge of the pavement there, hits that first clip, and takes part of it with him. And then right here you can see he's starting to wash out with the front end, not really able to get it together. And as he transitions here after this inside clip, he throws big angle in the car, and that's when it becomes an unchaseable lead. He has to pull out of it, and he is not able to finish the run.
Yeah, just had to pull out, but unfortunately for him, that will be an incomplete. Did not finish even though he had to pull out. So, Gernhart. All right, Rob Carlsen with the Galaxy graphics. Carlsen spent a lot of time up there at the streets of Willow. And we saw some great moments from him earlier this year. Let's see if he shows up here in Texas. Carlsen, this is what we're talking about. Yo, Carlsen. Boom. It's good. Punts it out of the way. Carlsen dropped the RPMs. That was a good execution. You could hear the exhaust note. The RPMs drop, brings in that final clip. That is a good exercise, especially for head-to-head tomorrow.
Well, he gets a pretty decent initiation there, and he's back on throttle, but he's really feathering the throttle. Then he really commits to it there towards the latter end of that zone. He's able to fill this second outside zone really well. Moves across the course with good fluidity. Nice angle there, just a little bit tight on the inside clip. Punts it out of the way. Now he's just a little bit early, leaving that final outside zone, but he is able to wrap through that last inside clip. Let's take a look at the center section here. See how he gets just to the edge of the zone there? If he would have pushed out a little bit deeper, he might have been able to get around that final inside clip. So these are very minor mistakes that will result in some deductions, but a good first run from him overall as he follows through there and hits that final inside clip.
Carlsen waits for his score. A beautiful afternoon here in Texas, local time, 7 p.m. Carlsen with a 75. 75 for Carlsen. Schulte still leading the pack with that 82. The only driver in the 80s so far. This car is a hot rod. Car got debuted all the way back in Orlando. What month was that, Ryan? That was, let's do the math. Was it end of April? No. It was. So April we kicked off Long Beach and went directly to Orlando. gosh, it's crazy. Sorry. Yeah, what day? It's a Thursday. It's a Thursday. Here we go. Donovan Brockway. D. Brock. This massive horsepower, turbocharged BMW. You know, this car has so much horsepower. Definitely needs D2, and it locks him up there. Ryan, that's where he threw himself off the Nexen tires.
Well, Jared, let's take a look at this run again, because he got a little bit held up there on that inside clip, playing a little bit of a challenge for some drivers. Starts midline, moves up into the outside zone. Really flying through the course here, hits that second outside zone. The 30 comes up a bit short. He's going to be super tight, and he makes an adjustment, and that causes him to miss that final outside zone completely. Really skirting through the course there, just trying to slow down and get back on a line suitable to hit that final inside clip. So unfortunately, that mistake will definitely have to pay a big price. Let's take a look at it again,
Jared.
Jared.
That's incomplete?
Well, I mean, I don't think that it's unchaseable per se, but it's
Ryan, give me an answer.
Well,
shoot.
Watch right here. He's got big angle, and then he's going to try to avoid that. He's going to slow very well.
Yeah.
Maybe that is unchaseable if you've got a driver really in proximity there. But yeah, I mean, obviously the judges are talking about it, so you have to think that they're considering it.
Yeah, the Red Baron Racing team brought out an absolute rocket ship this year, and you know we've seen it in years past. Just a new car getting debuted, and it's better to take just an easy approach as opposed to just going in hard, writing off the car. And we've seen that with Donovan. I don't know if you remember his E30, and it's unchaseable. Man. Hey, Lontaine, how you doing, buddy? Ryan Lontaine going to join us. That is an unchaseable run.
Yeah, we're looking at that as an unchaseable lead run because of the fact that he was way offline and had some pretty serious decels. He clearly made a mistake. You could see it inside clip 1. He got heavy on the brakes, hit the clip, slowed down considerably where he's not supposed to, got back on throttle, and then had multiple handbrake pulls while being way offline, nowhere near outside zone number 4. So all of those things combined make for a run that would be pretty much impossible to chase through that area where we expect people to be carrying momentum out towards the wall. So that's an incomplete.
Yeah, you saw him lock him up quite a bit as he went in, so unfortunate for him. Next up, big YouTube sensation, Adam LZ. He adds a lot of clicks, a lot of views. Let's see if he can add some carbon fiber to his diet. Adam LZ coming to us from Florida. Looks decent so far. Would like to see him a little deeper there in the outside zone. Has a fluid line, but could just dial it in a little bit. Just barely dips that toe in of that back left wheel. So Ryan, it looked fluid, but could definitely get deeper. I don't think that challenges Schulte for the lead.
Well, he got that #1 qualification with a solid run in St. Louis, and he's trying to back it up here. Wasn't able to put together the campaign that he wanted in the head-to-head matchups, but now as we see him in his qualifying run, he looks like he's relatively settled, but still leaving a little bit of roughness around the edges here. Some areas on the course where he could have done a little bit better, especially that center section. We see some drivers carry some bigger angle through that section of the course and also fill that zone. But overall, very quick through the course. You can see the car seems really dialed in. He's just got to clean it up a little bit around the edges and smooth it out, and he will definitely be competing for another #1 qualification spot. But I think this time around, it's a run to build on.
Adam LZ in his pits with his team. As you said, Ryan, a great showing in St. Louis. Josh Robinson, the Aussie driver there, looking on. You know, we traditionally have Casual Friday. What would you call, this isn't really Casual Thursday, it's old. So 72 for Adam LZ. What would you call Thursday, though? Any sort of branding element there?
You got to think of something that kind of goes with it, I guess.
Thirsty Thursday?
There's not a lot of like drinking going on.
I mean, maybe not for you. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm totally joking. Sorry.
Maybe not for you.
Maybe not for you. You know, just saying. Just kidding. All right, here we go. Jonathan Hurst in this Dynasty G vehicle, the G37. Saw some great things from Hurst earlier this year. I'm really looking forward to seeing if he sticks around in Pro 2. Is he going to make the jump? Is he going to get a license? But right now, Phew! Popping off right now. Hurst punts that front clip out of the way into that outside zone. And you can see our leaderboard shaping up. And guess what? Hurst is definitely going to add himself to that top 10.
Well, even though he hit that inside clip and punted it pretty far, I'm actually glad that he committed to that line because it made the run much more fluid. So he'll lose some line points there, but then he's not going to have to sacrifice as much of the style points. See, as he leaves his second outside zone, great job on outside zone 3, fills it pretty well. And he commits to just hitting that cone. He's on the wrong line there, but he made it look a lot more fluid. We've seen other drivers trying to drive around it, and then more mistakes happen. So Hurst right there laying down a couple mistakes in his run, but overall a really good first run to build off of. And here's that inside clip once again. I mean, he's definitely on the inside there, but you can see he was like, you know what, I'm just going to take this out.
Yeah.
That way I can get out to outside zone 3 and make a good quality finish to this run overall.
Well, and look how it set him up for that final front clip, the finish line clip. It didn't throw him off. If you compromise here, you're going to compromise there. And once you get thrown off, just that fluidity, what you've been doing in practice.
No, I agree with you 100%. I think if you know that you're going to make a mistake,
own it.
Own it, but let's get through that one and then not make any more.
All right. 78 for Jonathan Hurst puts him into the number 3 position as Troy Manners, a.k.a. Squirt, from the infamous town that is Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. Ryan, what's famous in Punxsutawney? Do you know?
Yes, Groundhog Day.
Sonic the Hedgehog is from Punxsutawney. No, yes, you are correct.
Troy Manners.
Do you have any good Groundhog Day quotes, the movie?
Oh man, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I love Bill Murray, so I have to think about it.
Yeah, so no. Right, not out of the gate, but yes, it is a great movie. Here we go, Punxsutawney, Troy Manners, a.k.a. Squirt. I've seen some great things from him over the years. Seen him competing up in Canada numerous times. Hanging it out. Slapping the base big time. Taking them all out, all the clips. Ryan, massive angle and still filling all the zones. Oh, just to say that, a quick little correction there. But I got to tell you, this is, I think, in that top 5 spots. Filling all of it, big angle.
Well, the commitment was there pretty much all the way, wasn't it? A blast down the front straight, initiates, watch the rear. You can see the rear tires start to light up pretty much immediately after initiation. Gets to that outside zone, fills it pretty well. Great job there on outside zone 2, just hits that cone. Mild angle, but goes a little bit deep into that zone, but very committed here. And that's probably the deepest outside zone 3 we've seen so far without getting offline. Still is able to wrap it back around. And as you said, Jared, it definitely looks like a top 5 run. And just some very minor mistakes that he can clean up in run number 2, but I think a great start from him overall.
Troy Manners heading back to the pits, going past Haugen. You can see LZ, Robinson, and the pits completely active. '88, so not only does he challenge for top 5, he takes that number 1 spot. Troy Manners, our new leader, betters Andrew Schulte with that 82, and Manners are now leader in Pro 2. Styles for Dustin Miles. Dustin Miles Garage, Moon Power, Rays, Achilles Tire, S13. Also being helped out by Coro Works this year, or in the, I should say, in the latter portion of this season, from Cartersville, Georgia. You can see our Pro 2 qualifying leaderboard. Manners out front. Schulte, Cobb, Hurst, and Sexsmith, our top 5. Dustin Miles leaves that start line. Dustin Miles comes in 11th overall in the championship. Initiates. Turns on the smoke signal. Hammer down, quick little lift, but back on throttle. That was a good execution, Ryan. You could hear him lift and then just go right for that front clip. Really well played, Ryan. Just, I think what I saw there will play really well into head-to-head competition. Keep that in mind. Just get in the top 16.
Yeah, you got a nice early initiation there right at the second standing cone. Good angle to outside zone 1, but comes off a little bit early there. Keeps that line to outside zone 2 looking pretty well, and does get out there deep into outside zone 3. Floats it around that inside clip. Looked really good from 2 to inside clip number 1. And then just a little bit tight there. He has to push out wide, but as you said, overall a pretty solid run for him.
Okay. As Miles waits for his score. And you can see Dustin Miles outside of his vehicle. AJ Muss now pulling to the line. And 76. A 76 comes in for Dustin Miles. AJ Muss on the start line. Originally from New Jersey, now living in Southern California. No muss, no fuss. AJ Muss. Really big angle. Can he hold that? You can see some wavering. Second outer zone, gets out there. Big angle from him. Punts that front clip, seems to be the move. Throws even some more angle at it. And tightens up to the front clip. AJ Muss really putting it down. Has an opportunity in his second run to tighten it up, but still very exciting to watch.
Yeah, he's had some moments here this year. Let's take a look at this run. Great job there at the beginning, but a little bit of a flub there as he leaves that outside zone. He had a lot of angle in the car. Now wrapping into that second inside clip. A bit tight on that inside clip coming through that center section, but this final portion of the course from outside zone 4 to that inside clip, finishing up the run, looked pretty good overall.
AJ hard parked there, far side of the track, and next up in the burnout box, Ola Jaeger. Taking a look at AJ's run once again, judges requesting it. Really center punching that. I was looking at it with my naked eye, but looking at that replay there, you could see that really going for it. See if that works out for him or if that's going to be a detriment to his score. Waiting for AJ's score, and there it is, a 74 for AJ Muss. We are now officially into the top 10. Ola Jaeger, our next driver. Mr. Jaeger in that Supra. Let's see what he's got. Coming all the way from Norway. A fierce competitor here in Pro 2, the Japan Auto Nexon Tire Toyota Supra. Just a nice mellow exhaust, but man, really sends it into that final outer zone and showed up in a major way there on the second half of this course.
Well, here we go. Let's take a look at this real quick as we get a look at the initiation there. A little bit of a slow roll there. right on the edge of the course on that first outside zone 2, much better. Big angle there through the center section, right in the middle of the zone. Just makes a little bit of a movement around that inside clip, but is able to fill that outside zone really well on a great line there. So Jaeger looking solid in run number 1.
And Ola Jaeger. Scores an 88. An 88 there for Jaeger. And you can see a 25, 28, and a 35. So there already is another driver with that 88, Troy Manners. It's going to come down to their second score, and if they tie those, it obviously defaults to, I believe it's style is the first one. We'll get the judges involved. All right, next up was to be Adriano. All right, so next up was to be Sean Adriano, but he's just going to skip his first run. I think he's having some major issues or just some issues in general with his vehicle. Next up, Kenrick Meyer. Kenrick Meyer sitting 7th in the championship. Let's see how Meyer throws down here. Ryan, we're talking about overall the Pro 2 Championship getting really close. Things could get shaken up here quite a bit. If this course favors, if you look at all the different Pro 2 courses, Kenrick Meyer, this could work out for the Ferocious Motorsports BMW. Ferocious sponsoring a few different vehicles, including in the Pro Championship. And Kenrick seeming to be very calm and very collected.
Yeah, let's take a look at his first run here as he attacks the course, gets that initiation. There goes the wheels. A little bit of an adjustment there as he gets in that outside zone number 1. Line looking pretty good there. Little movement there with the front wheels, but shoots into that outside zone number 2. Bit on the inside of outside zone 3. Tight on that inside clip. And a pretty good setup into that final outside zone as he brings it tight through that final section, just around that second hash mark. So Kenrick Meyer on his first run of the day, looking pretty solid overall.
All right. Kenrick waiting for a score. Achilles Tires. Again, Ferocious Motorsports. Next up will be Brandon Sorenson. And there's an 80, an 8-0. So a good showing for Kenrick Meyer. Doesn't take that number 1 spot, but happily take that number 4, which should be comfortable position given what we've seen from the Pro 2 drivers. Manners, Jaeger, Schulte, Meyer, Cobb, top 5. And here comes Brandon Sorenson. And sends it into that big, massive outside zone. Brandon Sorenson, only 15 years old. Ryan, that exhaust note, I mean, you can just hear him hammering down, does yank the e-brake, doesn't get to the outside zone, compromises that final and 4th outside zone. But very, very fluid there for Brandon Sorenson.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. He seems really well set up here on this first section of the course, but he makes a couple little flubs there with the front 2 wheels, but you can tell that he's trying to be as committed as possible. Great job on outside zone 2. Right there on outside zone 3, excellent. And the nice fluid motion to that inside clip really did well for him. He angled up a little bit, and that caused him to not get as deep as he probably could have into outside zone 4, but overall some good runs there.
You can see the 2-on-2 performance, drift line, Achilles tire, BMW, Brandon Sorenson. Waits for his score. Sorensen score coming in. Next up will be Alec Robbins. A 78 for Brandon Sorensen. We are now into top 5. Ryan, you talked about it. Alec's success in St. Louis really shaking things up overall. We'll pull up those standings here coming into this round as Alec Robbins, currently from Minnesota, Becker, Minnesota. That Dane 1 vehicle. Woo-wee. Right for the picking. Look at that thing. Robbins. This track definitely suits Robbins' style. You hear him hit that rev limiter. Robbins, what do you say, Ryan?
Well, he is the guy with the most momentum right now, isn't he? Coming off of a great event in St. Louis and continuing here in qualifying, looking very settled. You can see he's committed to both the first and the second outside zone. Very few mistakes here. Great transition. Look at that. He pushes right out there to that deepest part of that outside zone and then whips through that final inside clip. This looks like a man ready to do some business here and does a great job filling pretty much every area of the course. That transition was smooth. It was fluid. Right to the edge of the course. Makes it look extremely easy, even though that is such a challenging part of the course. So great job by him, and you're going to have another whopper of a score here for Alec Robbins.
Yeah, that was awesome. And a 92 for Alec Robbins. Ryan, he's going to feel very comfortable with that run. And Ryan, how quickly that got to the screen. The judges had no denial on how good it was, just how good was it, and a 92, leaving 8 points out there on track. Overall, the standings, Ryan, Josh Robinson, he grabs that victory. A complete battle of attrition in Orlando, but where are we at right now?
Well, Robinson right now is 41 points back. He is tied with Alec Robbins for that 5th place.
Here we go, Josh Robinson coming in, that Duralast, Holden Ute, Hoonigan Nexen tire. All the way to that outside zone, through the power alley. Ryan, I think this track could fare well for Robinson. See him tapping that brake to work it into that final clip.
Well, a good start here, and as we said, Jared, tied with Alec Robbins in points right now. Number 4 and 5. He gets on that throttle a little bit later than you'd like to see, but he's keeping the line pretty solid here, right out to the edge of the course there with that second outside zone. Just right at the edge there of that 3rd. He's really flying. Good transition there. Fills the final outside zone pretty well. Maybe leaves it a tiny bit early, but tight on that final inside clip. So this is going to be a run that's going to most likely get him into the top 16 overall, but he'll have obviously another shot at it to keep building upon it as we see Robinson continuing to improve here and trying to make his mark here at the final event of the year. Just sitting in that 5th place spot, 41 points out.
Henry and Claire, make sure you listen to Auntie Colleen. Eat all your dinner and make sure you cheer on your favorite driver. Henry and Claire, listen to Auntie Colleen. Here we go as Josh Robinson, the Robo-Roo. 84 for Josh Robinson. Bless you. On the line, Garrett Denton sits in 3rd. Garrett Denton, Cora Works S14, originally from Rhode Island. And here we go. Denton shreds that back bumper quickly. Little hat tip to Alec Robbins, the bumper slayer. As Denton into that outside zone, transitions, taking out, shredding that back bumper, dropping some weight. All the way to the outside zone. Do we have a new leader, Ryan? Really well done by Garrett Denton. A 92 leads the pack. Alec Robbins does that better, Ryan. What do you think? Take a look at it.
Well, Denton has certainly been one to watch, and right out of the gate you can see the bumper flying here, but he is really deep into that first outside zone. Now getting into that second. And a slight hesitation there, but he loses the bumper as he hits that cone. But massive angle there, e-brake pull there towards the end. Through that final section of the course, you can tell that he's got a lot of confidence in his vehicle and his driving ability. As he gets out to the edge of the course there, just taps that inside clip. And a great transition there to finish things up. So a good first run there for Garrett Denton. We'll see where he lines up with the rest of this crew here in Pro 2.
Let's see where Garrett Denton lands. And a 90, so just outside that top spot, but that is a comfortable position for Garrett Denton. And Denton makes his way back as Rome Charpentier, Imagine Garage, Feel Suspension, Achilles Tire, BMW. Trenton Beecham. Currently out front. And here comes Rome, Charpentier. Get in the Rome. Auto Rome. Into that second outer zone. Flying through that power alley, lifting that front left. Wow! Big snappy transition, Ryan. And across that finish line. Ryan had a lot of attitude there, really. Risk it for the biscuit. Sits second overall in points, 21 points. Sorry.
5 points.
5 points, excuse me.
So this is the championship battle that is at least the closest right now is Rome Charpentier and Trenton Beecham. And qualifying is going to be incredibly important for those two guys, especially if they end up meeting each other in earlier rounds, top 16, grade 8. If he can get a good position in qualifying, we'll see how the judges take a look at it as we finish up with this run here. It's not going to be our #1 qualifier, but it's certainly going to be a good building base for him. The battle between Trenton Beecham and Rome Charpentier and who finishes deeper into the competition is going to be a real significant battle to watch. You can see Rome seems pretty hyped on that. He's gramming right now out of his car. But Jared, even in the top 4 guys, we've got Robinson, we've got Denton, we've got Charpentier, and then of course Beecham, who just right there they're within 23 points of each other from
that's
first
one
to fourth.
podium spot to the next.
Yeah.
I mean, that's super close. As Rome puts down an 81 on his first run. Currently 7th in qualifying. And Ryan, you can see how fast this course is as we're just about to see Trenton Beecham, our final driver of qualifying, run 1. So it just goes to show you, what's the... So about 31 drivers here, and only 16 will see head-to-head competition.
So Jared, here he is. He's been the most consistent driver. He started off the first round of the year with a win in Orlando, and then had a bit of a fall off there in Atlanta, and then back in St. Louis, he was able to get 41 points overall. He leads the pack currently at 167 points, and that is Trenton Beecham.
Yeah, I said earlier, Robinson got the win in Orlando, but that was incorrect. Robinson got the win in Atlanta. Where that course just ate up a lot of vehicles, and Robinson just kept it together the most. Let's call it what it is. Here we go, Trent Beecham here on his first qualifying run. Trent Beecham on Nexen tires. Heavy, clean all the way through. Just barely touches and glances that front clip, riding all the way to that white line. Ryan, this just goes to show you why he is currently leading the championship. Well executed there for Beecham.
Well, he gets a good start here, and you can see the confidence that he has in his vehicle and his driving ability right out of the gate. He's back on throttle early. He fills that outside zone. He gets right here to the edge of the course, transitions over here. He makes a little bit of a mistake there coming across that center section. Didn't really have the fluidity that you'd like to see. So this is not going to be your #1 qualifier, but for Beecham, he's just looking for the best possible positioning that he can get into the top 16. He will have another one to go off of, and he does seem hyped on that first run, knowing that he's got a scored run that will play overall into the top 16.
Beecham awaits a score. And again, this will be not our final qualifying run, but the final for run 1, because every driver you've seen has run 2. Very fast track, very exciting, as Beecham still awaits his score. Again, every single driver. We have 31 drivers vying for only 16 spots. An 84, that's an 8-4 for Beecham. So we will take a short commercial break. When we come back, the second run, and we'll kick things off once again with Daniel Stuck. Daniel Stuck, that M-Spec performance vehicle, when we come back. So we'll take a short break. Qualifying continues, round 4 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship, round 7 of the Black Magic Formula Drift Championship. But right now, it's all about Pro 2, the stars of tomorrow, the stars of today. When we come back, run 2 for all these drivers. Advanced Auto Parts Showdown presented by Rain-X. Round 4 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. Welcome back, Texas Motor Speedway. The sun is setting, but we still have 31 more runs tonight. It's a full moon. Tomorrow is Friday 13th. Is that the right? No. What's the right Friday 13th soundtrack? Shh, shh. Right? Ryan, what's the proper Friday 13th? Yeah. That's kind of creepy. bellowing through Texas Motor Speedway, and now in your living room. But right now, here we go. Back to the top, Daniel Stuck. He currently holds an incomplete on his first run. He needs to step up. Killer looking car as Stuck. Let's see if he can stoke us out. Not so much me, but the judges, of course. Oh, and a correction again. Oh, man, gutted for Stuck. Ryan, Bummertown, population Stuck.
Yeah, tough break for him there. Just not able to get a clean pass through here. And Jared, we have seen some pretty good scores, even though there was some incompletes early on.
Yep, that's a double incomplete for Daniel.
It's going to take a good bit of driving here to get into the top 16, and it just unable to pull it off here towards the end. Let's take a look, see if we can find out what happened here. He had some good angle there, started to wash out the front end, and then right there is just unable to finish the run. He knew at that point it was going to be an incomplete, and sadly that will be the end of competition for him.
Yeah, what a bummer for Daniel. Like you said, Ryan, there's quite a few incompletes, and just the caliber of driving we're seeing. A lot of these guys now fighting for the championship. So Daniel, bummer town, man. I'm sorry for that to manifest the way it did. But Daniel, Amanda Sorenson, I think she's got it in her. We've seen some great driving from her outside of Pro 2 at different events such as LS Fest or Vegas Drift, and now here we are. We've seen her in the Drift League as well in Irwindale. Some shimming her way into that outside zone. Doesn't get all the way out there. Now into that second outer zone through the power alley. You can see a quick little lift and a massage around that front clip. Into that final outer zone, and zeroing in on the front clip goes Amanda Sorenson. Is that enough, Ryan?
Well, let's take a look. I mean, we'll start to see the cutoff develop here as we start locking in our top 16 drivers. Pretty good start there. She's on the inside of outside zone 1. Better job on outside zone 2. Pretty decent angle there. Fills that third outside zone. Just a little bit of an adjustment there with the front through that inside clip. We've seen a lot of drivers do that as she tried to avoid it. She lost a little bit of angle there before that last inside clip and then angled up towards the end. Watch the front end here, just navigate around that inside clip to try avoiding it, hitting it. We saw some drivers just opting to go right through it, and that may be the better option as long as there's no further mistakes being made. But some of the adjustments being made to miss that inside clip have tended to leave open the possibility of more mistakes down the road. So Sorensen will lock in her second run, and we'll see where she slots into the top 16.
Amanda Sorenson with a 72, and looks like that puts her into 18th position. Only 16 drivers advance on. Amanda Sorenson will not be seen head-to-head competition, unfortunately. Just a bit outside, and we have a lot of incompletes, so that will just solidify it for Amanda Sorenson. Such a bummer, but a great season for her. She should hold her head high, as a lot of these drivers, their seasons are coming to an end here in Texas, including that of Daniel Stuck. Next up, Nate Snyder. He has an incomplete, Ryan. The SV Performance Achilles radial. He does, yeah, he's having some issues here. Very slow approach. This is not going to be challenging of the top 16 spots. Very, just awkward approach there. Ryan just finishing out the rest of the course with Snyder, but I heard the judges even comment on the approach.
Well, for sake of conversation, he's going to need at least a 75 to get himself up into the top 16. It was a real slow approach. As you said, Jared, he completely misses that first outside zone. You can see he's struggling here just to try and get to the right sections of the course while maximizing the angle, keeping the flow going. He opts out of that inside clip. Does float it out to that final outside zone, but it's going to be a tough time to make that 75, I think. And a really slow approach here. Did not really show the commitment on initiation, and then not being able to reach out to outside zone 1 kind of furthered that point. So, tough run here. And we'll see where this score drops. But he did have that incomplete on run number 1. So
this is a do or die for Snyder. Snyder, the big snuffleupagus intake sticking out of the hood, the Holly Performance. Fancy boy. Snyder waits to score a 66. Unfortunately, not enough. So a 66 for Snyder, and he'll be watching from the sidelines. Alex Schlegel, 64 for him on his first run. As you take a look at the Pro 2 qualifying leaderboard, Ryan, you brought it up, a 70. I believe you said 77. Carlsen 75. So no, you need a 75. And that's just right now. That's early on. All right, there we go. Schlegel, Drift HQ, he took off that Bimini top. He's going for it. Letting the wind blow through his helmet. See him working the wheel there. Pretty calm there through the power alley. Car dipping into that front clip, just barely kissing it with that front bumper. Lifting and bringing it into that front clip a lot better. Ryan, I would have to think that score's better than a 64, but is that a 75 or better?
Well, that's what he's going to need. I like this approach this time around. He does get on the throttle a bit earlier than what I remember from last time around. A little bit of an adjustment there in the front wheel, so lacking some fluidity, leaving outside zone 1, outside zone 2. He does get out there. Outside zone 3, pretty good job as well, just on the inside of that clip. So pretty good job getting through that section of the course without making too big of an adjustment and hitting that cone squarely. Watch this right here. He's got good angle, and he's just going to make a tiny adjustment and just nudge that inside clip. So that was pretty well executed. I think this will be better than his first run. The question is, will it be at a 75? That's what you're going to need to play ball, at least right now in competition, to get past that cutoff.
Play ball. We're playing ball here? Hack. Haugen. Regardless, Schlegel pumped. So Schlegel out of the car. A 78. So Ryan, we talked about that magic cutoff as 75. Will that 78 hold? Currently in 11th. Yeah, that's you, bud. That's you up there on the big screen, Schlegel. So score came in. He got a 78. 78 there for Schlegel. Kelsey Rawlings, she has an incomplete. A lot of drivers with incompletes here as we kicked off the bottom. What do you got?
No, just I'll talk to you after Kelsey runs through. Got some little notes from the judges.
All right, thank you. Here we go. Voodoo Ride S chassis on Achilles tires. Kelsey Rawlings. All that outside zone. Through that second outer zone into the third. Kelsey Rawlings, woman possessed. Nice job. Whips in that final clip. She had a difficulty there, Ryan, if you can recall. She had that outer line and then compromised it, trying to dive in, and that's where it went south real quick, and that's what got her the incomplete. But Ryan, is this better than a 75?
Well, it's good that you brought that up, because that's exactly what Ryan Lantain was pointing out to me. He wanted to make the point that they were having a big emphasis for his particular section in style on this last section of the course. Now, this last section of the course is where she did get the incomplete, and he's been docking 5 points for people that have not been accelerating through the finish line. So you're seeing a lot of guys get a deduction there. A lot of drivers get a deduction there. That's where she got the incomplete last time. This time she was able to flow through that section of the course, and the question now is, did she do enough prior to that in the remainder of the course to get above a 75? It looks like she feels pretty good about it, and now it's in the judges' hands as she is taking a look at herself on the big Jumbotron out there, trying to get into the top 16. I think, Jared, to be safe, probably a 78, 79 is gonna be more of an insurance policy, but 75 right now will get you in the ball game.
Yeah, I would say somewhere in the 80s would really guarantee you.
I think 100 might be good.
I think 100 would be really solid, but a 79 will definitely do, as she just better Schlegel's run of a 78. So Ryan sitting in 10th, that's still not a comfortable spot, given that we have, a few incompletes, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 incompletes and some lower scores than that. So we will see, but could Kelsey Rawlings see top 16 competition tomorrow. Karolina Pilarczyk from Poland in the Sylvette. As Karolina, she had an incomplete on her first run. Pushes it through. As Karolina locks him up there towards that finish line. Brian, I know you talked to Lantain, trying to minimize those handbrake pulls and all the corrections, trying to be fluid through the course.
Well, let's take a look here, because as we've been saying, 75, 76 is going to be that number. Karolina looking to try to get into the top 16. She does have that incomplete. Still making a few mistakes, looking a little bit less fluid than some of the drivers here, but this time she's going to get through with the complete. A big slowdown there towards that final section of the course, just a bit outside on that final inside clip on that third hash mark. Let's take a look here at how far she decelerates. She is able to get out to this outside zone just at the beginning, but a big handbrake pull there. You could see the wheels lock up pretty completely. Really a big deceleration there. So this is going to be maybe right at the threshold as she awaits.
All right, Karolina waiting for her score. And a 67, so Karolina does not make it. Next up, Derrick Madison, a 63 on his first run. All right, Derrick Madison on his second run, Team Infamous has 14.5 from Bethalto, Illinois. Midwest driver, Madison. Oh, and that's got to be an inchaseable run. Turns it on here mid-track. But Ryan, I mean, I heard you say no, but that's got to be unchaseable.
Well, I think the issue is really failure to initiate in general. He was way past. I'm glad the guys are winding it back to this section of the course. There's 3, 2, 1, no initiation, no initiation, yep. No initiation. So he's probably 60 feet, 70 feet past the last standing initiation point. I don't see how the judges can score this run, unfortunately, because that would be clearly an unchaseable lead in any other context. And if we can get a confirmation from the judges, it looks like, yep, yes, it is going to be an incomplete.
All right, so that is officially Derrick Madison. He will be not competing tomorrow. As Matt Haugen has an incomplete as well. The full moon, howling at the moon. Let's go Haugen. Here we go, Matt Haugen coming down. Doesn't sound 100% healthy. Maybe it's just the exhaust being thrown against the buildings. Haugen through the power alley into that front clip. And his front bumper going underneath the vehicle. Fortunately, doesn't cause him some problems. So here's taking a look at Haugen's run here once again. So Haugen center punching that front clip, exploding his front bumper, as Haugen has an incomplete on his first run. All right, so again, that 75 still seems to be about the cutoff. And for Matt Haugen debuting this car, a 71 for Matt. And unfortunately, that will not be enough for him to see Pro 2 competition. Just bringing that car out at St. Louis for the second to last run. Quite a bummer there for Haugen, as next up, Tim Cobb. Okay, as right now it looks like we got some debris out on track. Tim Cobb will be our next driver. He has a 79 on his first run. Here we go, Tim Cobb. Tim Cobb. Whoa, buddy. And that will be an incomplete. That's an unchaseable run. Fortunately for him, he does have a 79 on his first run. As we are looking. The sun is definitely set just behind the bleachers here. Finding out what's going on here with our drivers. All right, Dmitriy Brutskiy. And Dmitriy comes in to that first outer zone, initiates. Well done by Dmitriy. Oh, and he gets into the dirt. And it looks like Dmitriy will shut it down. That will be an incomplete for Dmitriy. Here is a look at his initiation here. As Brutskiy waits, that'll definitely be an incomplete run for Dmitry. And there it is for Brutskiy. He has a 74 that puts him in 18th, so that will be an incomplete. He is unable to qualify for top 16 for tomorrow. And we are seeing our next driver, which is Andrew Schulte. He has an 82 on his first run. Andrew Schulte on the start line. So we have about remaining drivers. Taking a look, looks like about 20 drivers left remaining. All right, so Andrew Schulte on the start line. So right now, we are taking a look at the course with this course layout. The power alley of the portion of the track is very technical, and going at those speeds, you really need to get eyeballs on the clipping zones and clipping points. Right now, the track is not illuminated enough, so it doesn't seem that the track is illuminated enough for the drivers. So if they might be talking about postponing qualifying or modifying it for tomorrow's competition. Again, right now, Pro 2 and the link engine management. The final round of this Pro 2 championship. Andrew Schulte on the line with an 82. As I said, about 21 drivers left remaining here on their second run. As, again, competition, consider this a bit of a rain delay, as unfortunately the power rally just does not seem to be illuminated enough for both the drivers and the judges in order to see what the drivers are doing. But imagine from the cockpit, you're hitting these high speeds, the way this course is laid out, making sure that you hit the rear clipping zones and of course that front clipping point as you exit that power alley, and then you go towards a wall. Very unforgiving wall, that outside zone, just dialing it in. And you know, some of these vehicles have, let's call it what it is, inadequate lights. So that could definitely change the game for a lot of these drivers, from the sunny conditions on their first run to now the less than ideal conditions here on this second run. Andrew Schulte, hood popped, but this does not count against him. Car shut down. All right, well, the sun has set, and unfortunately, the light supplier, we do not have enough lights here on track. So we are calling Pro 2 qualifying, and what that means is tomorrow we will bring in the remaining drivers and, again, potentially some of the drivers that did run in the darkness, throwing them off. But unfortunately, Pro 2 qualifying will commence tomorrow. We'll proceed with Pro 2 qualifying in the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship tomorrow with the remaining drivers. So thank you for your patience. But, again, we have an action-packed day tomorrow from Pro 2 qualifying now with those remaining drivers. We have Pro qualifying tomorrow, then Pro 2 to find out who will be the 2019 Link Engine Management Pro 2 champion. So a few drivers are feeling comfortable going into tomorrow. Some drivers will still have to wait till tomorrow to find out if they're going to be in tomorrow's competition. On behalf of Ryan Sage and the whole Formula Drift staff, be sure to check all our social media networks, including Instagram, Facebook, and all these social media networks. Share it with a friend. Again, Pro 2 qualifying will continue tomorrow morning. And, again, it will be on social media. On behalf of the whole team, I'm Jared Dienda. That is a wrap for us here today at Texas Motor Speedway. Round 4 of the Link Engine Management Pro 2 Championship. The showdown presented by Rain-X, the AutoZone showdown presented by Rain-X. And round 7 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship. We'll see you tomorrow.